Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to Gyanonymous School. In the Criminology live lecture series, in lecture 10, we are going to study about Juvenile Justice System, about juvenile delinquency. So let's imagine a situation, let's say a 6-year-old boy who is arrested for let's say stealing a motorcycle with two of his friends. During the investigation, the police has discovered that he comes from a very broken family. He is dropped out from school. He spends most of his time with other older criminals and was actually influenced by videos on social media that glorifies crime. So now let's ask ourselves, should this could be punished like an adult criminal? Should that person or should that child be punished as adult criminal, or should society try to reform him in a reformative way? So this is where juvenile delinquency and juvenile justice become very important. Children are the future of actually every nation, not only with India. Children are future of every nation. When a child commit crime, society doesn't simply ask like questions like what offense has he or she committed, but it also asks why this child commit the offense and how can we prevent it from happening again. So today's lecture, in lecture 10 of juvenile delinquency and juvenile justice, we will cover the meaning of juvenile delinquency, about characteristics and causes of juvenile delinquency, major criminological theories, types of juvenile delinquency, also juvenile justice system in India we will look into from a broad perspective, juvenile justice, care and protection of children, that is JJ Act of 2015, we will look into it. We will look into juvenile justice board and child welfare committee. Also we will go in depth about rehabilitation and current challenges. So let's begin. Juvenile, it refers to the word actually words as juvenile delinquency, the phrase it actually refers to unlawful or antisocial behavior committed by a child below a legally prescribed age. In India this age is 18 years. So in various countries this age differs from countries to countries. So unlike adult crime, juvenile delinquency is viewed not only as a act, not only as a legal issue, but also as a social, psychological, educational, and also regarded as a family problem. So the objective of juvenile justice is actually reformation rather than retribution. So retributive theory is not much followed in juvenile justice, rather reformative theory is applied, or rehabilitation theory is applied. So what are the characteristics of juvenile delinquency? Actually, while dealing with or studying juvenile justice system, we must remember that it is not the word crime is not used. What the word is actually used is delinquency or delinquent. Okay, so crime or offense are not rather used. Crime is not used, offense is sometimes used, but the word delinquent or delinquency is mostly used. So juvenile offenders generally display one or more of the characteristics, like school absenteeism, they absent from school or maybe drop out, about like poor parental supervision, or sometimes absence of guardians. They develop the association with other delinquent peers, aggressive and impulsive behaviors, with substance abuse. The delinquents are actually with low self-control, they lack in discipline or emotional instability, they develop emotional instability, and more curious towards risk taking behavior. So it is important to remember that not every child showing the characteristics as we mentioned there, like low self-control, substance abuse, or poor parental control, etc., not every child showing these characteristics become a delinquent, but these characteristics may increase the risk of vulnerability, increase the risk of a child going towards delinquent behavior. So what can be causes? What can be the causes of juvenile delinquency? It can be like beginning with family factors. A family is actually child's first school. When homes are broken, families are broken, comes up with domestic violence, with neglect, poor parenting, with alcoholism, and lack of emotional support. These often contribute to delinquent behavior. Next, coming to peer influence. Children often learn from friends. Association with delinquent peer groups may actually encourage theft. It may encourage drug abuse, also bullying, cybercrime, and other violent activities. Poverty can be another factor, like very much financial hardship, unemployment within the family, or lack of opportunities sometimes. These all actually pushes children towards illegal activities. School environment also one of the major factors, like poor academic performance in school, bullying in school, school dropouts, also lack of guidance from teachers. These all may increase the risk of delinquency. Coming to other factors like psychological factors, mental health issues, emotional disturbances, or low self-esteem, maybe impulsivity, and other behavioral disorders. These all may influence offenders towards delinquent behavior. There can be some biological factors also, like some researchers have actually explored the influence of genetical factors and neurological development factors, and also like hormonal factors. But biological factors alone it doesn't explain juvenile delinquency. However, it is also a factor, and researchers are deeply into it. Now coming a new trend or a new influence in today's society, that is social media and technology. In today's time, like cyberbullying, online fraud, gambling, kind of addiction, various kind of addiction, and violent online content, even so the social media influence, these all have become significant concern for a child to lead him to or lead her to delinquent behavior. So these are the factors which lead someone which leads a child to kind of astray, to kind of delinquent behavior. As we learned various factors that leads to delinquent behavior, let's move ahead with the major theories which explains juvenile delinquency. Some of the theories, various criminological theories are there which explain why juveniles actually commit offenses. We have already studied about these theories, but now we are studying them from juvenile point of view. It can be like social disorganization theory. Here children grow up in disorganized neighborhood with maybe poverty, with weak community institutions, and in such cases they are more likely to become delinquent. Theories like differential association theory, as proposed by Edwin Sutherland, this theory actually states that criminal behavior is learned. We have already learned about it. Criminal behavior is learned through interaction with others. So if a child spends more time with delinquent peers rather than law-abiding influencers, so these all impact the child's behavior towards delinquency or towards law-abiding behavior. Other theories can be like strain theory, according to Robert Martin, as we have learned about it. When children cannot achieve socially accepted goals through legitimate means, some may actually turn to delinquency. Other theories like social control theory, it was actually proposed by Travis Hirschi. We learned about that. It argued that strong bonds with family, with school, and society, it may reduce delinquency. So if a child having no strong bond with society, with school, with society, so he or she may go towards delinquent behavior. Weak social bonds may actually increase the likelihood of offending. Another theory is labeling theory. Once actually society labels a child as criminal, as dropout, even though not criminal but dropout, he is or she is not good. Even if he or she has committed a very minor crime or minor delinquent act, so this label can actually negatively affect the child's identity and future behavior, which may increase the risk of repeated offending. So labeling theory is actually of very much importance in children in juvenile delinquency. Now, as we have learned various theories which explain juvenile delinquency, which explain the causes of juvenile delinquency, let's come to the various types of juvenile delinquency. There can be like various ways juvenile can commit offending, like can be theft, maybe burglary, maybe assault. Definitely kids go through various drug related offenses. A group of kids or through influence of others, kids go or childs go through various vandalism acts. In present day cyber world, kids go through various cyber offenses with bullying, including cyberbullying, truancy, various sexual offenses, knowingly or unknowingly, also various gang related activities. So the nature of juvenile crime has changed significantly with growth of technology and social media. Let's say the concept of cyberbullying, it was not there, let's say 15 years or 20 years back. Okay, so cyberbullying has evolved with the evolution and propagation of social media. So cyberbullying in children, particularly in between age of 12 to 18 years, is of very much importance, and parents should be cautious about children using social media in that age. Various countries has actually banned social media under certain age group, which is very good, and countries like India should move ahead with such policies to actually criminalize use of social media under a certain age group, let's say 18 years, 17 years, or maybe 16 years, and parents should be fined. I repeat, parents should be fined if they are caught letting their children to use social media. So what are the juvenile justice system in India? India follows actually a child-centered juvenile justice system. It primarily, its primary objectives can be like protection of children, rehabilitation, social reintegration of the offender, so best interest of the child, prevention of repeat offending. The system in India, it recognizes that children are still developing emotionally and psychologically, also physically, and therefore they deserve an opportunity to reform. In India, we have an act with respect to juvenile delinquency, that is Juvenile Justice in bracket Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. So this act, Juvenile Justice Act or JJ Act of 2015, is the principal legislation governing juvenile justice in India. It classifies children into two broad categories. First is CCL. We must remember in JJ Act what is CCL. CCL is children in conflict with law. This is called CCL. A child is alleged to be found to have committed an offense while below the age of prescribed under the act, like in between actually 7 to 18 years. So these such crimes are called, or such offenses are, or such childs are called children in conflict with law, or CCL. The next category is child in need of care and protection, CNCP. So these are two, CCL and CNCP. CNCP, or child in need of care and protection, who are the child who are actually children who are abandoned, who are abused, neglected, orphaned, or maybe trafficked, or sometimes in various other ways if they are vulnerable. So these are called CNCP child, or child in need of care and protection, CNCP. So these are two broad categories that JJ Act deals with. One is CCL, child in conflict with law. Another is CNCP, child in need of care and protection. In criminology, particularly in juvenile criminology, while we studying in India, these two words, CCL and CNCP, is very important from criminological or from law point of view. So this act actually aims to provide care, to provide protection, development, treatment, also rehabilitation, and social integration. There is something called Juvenile Justice Board in JJ Act, or in Juvenile Justice Act. The Juvenile Justice Board, it deals with cases involving children in conflict with law. It functions can be like conducting inquiries, ensuring child-friendly procedures, protecting children's rights, passing rehab-oriented orders, arranging counseling for the offender, or even social investigation. So this board emphasizes reform rather than punishment. So this is what Juvenile Justice Board under JJ Act. There is another committee, that is Child Welfare Committee. A Child Welfare Committee, or CWC, JJB, that is Juvenile Justice Board, and CWC, Child Welfare Committee, is very important from exam perspective. The Child Welfare Committee, it deals with children in need of care and protection under the JJ Act. Okay, its responsibilities can be rescue and protection, about rehabilitation, about foster care, about sponsorship, restoration to families wherever it is appropriate and applicable, and also about institutional care whenever it is necessary. So there are in JJ Act or Juvenile Justice, we hear about various homes like observation homes, special homes, and also about place of safety. So what are they? Observation homes actually provide temporary accommodation for children during inquiry. Observation home are there, children are put in observation home when the inquiry is pending or when the inquiry is ongoing. On the other hand, special homes, they accommodate children requiring rehab after orders of competent authority. When orders are passed that this child has actually committed a delinquent act, so they are transferred into special homes. On the other hand, a place of safety is intended for certain categories of children who actually require secure care under legal framework, while also ensuring the opportunity for rehabilitation. So this is what place of safety is. After the Nirbhaya Rape Act or Nirbhaya Act of 2012, we have the focus of society came towards the particularly in India, the focus of society came towards various heinous offense by juveniles. One of the most dedicated or maybe dedicated by media or debated by society, this such aspect of Juvenile Justice Act, it concerns with the children aged between 16 and 18 who have committed certain heinous acts. Heinous acts can be like murder, rape, or even gang rape, etc. So JJ Act, it provides for preliminary assessment by the Juvenile Justice Board regarding factors such as child's mental and physical capacity to commit the particular offense, ability to understand its consequences, and also about circumstances which it has already committed. So the board then proceeds according to the framework laid down by the Juvenile Justice Act. So the board determines whether the act is heinous or not, and if it is heinous, uh, if it is heinous act, after 16 years of age, he or she will be acted as adult as per other laws like BNS and BNSS. So this provision actually seeks to balance the accountability with principle of child protection. Now coming to rehabilitation and social reintegration. Actually, the success of juvenile justice, it depends upon rehabilitation. The important rehabilitation measures which can include education, counseling, psychological treatment, family support, also with vocational training, skill development, sports and recreational activities, maybe community participation and aftercare programs. So the objective is to transform the children into responsible citizen when they come out of special home. Now let's move towards the role of family, role of school, police, and community. So preventing juvenile delinquency is everyone's responsibility. Family should provide actually love, discipline, and guidance to a child. On the other hand, school should identify if there is any behavioral problem in any particular child, and if there is something, they should provide with early warning and consultation. On the other hand, police should adopt child-friendly procedures while investigating juvenile delinquent acts and protects children's rights. The communities also, the social communities should create safe environment through sports, maybe through education, various program like youth development programs, so that child not go towards delinquent way. What are the contemporary challenges towards juvenile justice? Juvenile justice actually faces various severe challenges with trend of with modern trend of technology and dynamic development of the society. They can be very much, which is very much of important, is cyber crime, including cyber bullying. Another important challenge is online radicalization. So online radicalization is very much problemsome if we don't monitor a child's behavior on the internet. He or she may get influenced by various videos or various texts which are on the internet which propagate radicalization practices. There can be drug abuse, there can be even school violence or gang involvement also. Human trafficking is very much important, and there are mental health concerns. So we must also have a focus or we must also think it from a serious point of view about the mental health condition of a child. Social media addiction, which is very important. I already have told you that like countries like Australia and other countries which have framed law so that teenagers or child of certain below certain age shouldn't be using social media. So in India we also need such laws that child under certain age shouldn't be using social media, which is very bad. I really say it is very bad. And parents should be penalized, or guardians should be financially penalized if they are found doing so. I mean, if child are found doing or using social media, parents need to be fined, and it should be implemented seriously. So these challenges actually require coordinated response from parents, from educators, from law enforcement agencies, from psychologists and policymakers, along with social organization, various social organization including NGOs and other organizations which having the role to make awareness about child education, particularly on mental health concern, on social media addiction, about children, on about online radicalization, about drug abuse, cyberbullying, human trafficking, etc. So this is what, from examination point of view, if you are appearing in UGC NET criminology examination, or maybe UPSC examinations with criminology, or other examination with criminology as a subject, we can just, in JJ Act we must read the Juvenile Justice Care and Children's Care and Protection Act 2015 from a bird's eye point of view. Then we must understand that juvenile delinquency differ from adult crime. We must know the causes of juvenile delinquency. We must revise various criminological theories like differential association theory, strain theory, routine activity theory, etc., and look them from the point of view of juvenile justice or juvenile delinquency. We must understand, as I mentioned, Juvenile Justice Care and Protection Act 2015, and we must differentiate between CCL and CNPC. What is CCL? CCL is children in conflict with law, and CNPC is children in need of care and protection. So now we should also remember the roles of Juvenile Justice Board and Child Welfare Committee. So that's it. Before concluding, I would like to ask you a question. Today's question is, please comment below that today's question is, how Juvenile Justice Board is composed of. Juvenile Justice Board is composed of whom? How many judges there, or maybe how many prominent persons there? Who are they? What is their tenure? Just tell me about Juvenile Justice Board and how they are composed. Tell me about the composition of Juvenile Justice Board. So before concluding, one important thought is there, that every juvenile offender is first and foremost a child. We must remember that whoever the offender may be, if he is or she is a juvenile, we must regard him as a child. While society must ensure accountability for unlawful behavior, whoever may commit it, it must also recognize that children possess a remarkable capacity for learning, for growth, and for sense. So the purpose of juvenile justice is not merely to punish young offenders, but to understand the reason behind their behavior, and then to protect their rights, also guide them through rehab processes, and help them become responsible members of the society in future. So we must remember that a nation that invests in children, it actually invests in its future. So thank you for watching. If you find this lecture useful, please like, share, and subscribe to Gyanonymous School. Thank you, and Jai Hind.